You ready for this? I'm going to tell you exactly why we get sick. You probably know this, but let's really take it deeper. Next step. How you can actually change anything, how you can heal yourself, and all the other stuff that goes along with that regarding our journey here, why people have challenges. This is so simple. And when you know the one thing I'm going to tell you, you're going to realize how incredibly powerful you are, and you're going to have to watch everything from this moment forward. Sorry, once you get this information, you can't go back. It's called awakening. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fear and live an amazing life. Yay! Yeah, I had coffee. Is that okay? No, I'm just like this. Okay. First of all, please subscribe. I think it's over here. And then digitalexplorers.net, free webinar, how to create a planet conscious online business. Actually, any kind of business that helps you, other people, making money, living a life that you really should, doing something you love for a living. What a concept. I'm changing the planet. If you want to complain about that, shut your pie hole. All right. So these are free, and these are actually my spiritual transformation teachings. I want to talk about that today because I do what's called the miracle circle here. What is the miracle circle? I'm going to talk about how everything could change in a moment for you. Now, a friend of mine was recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She was given 2 to 3 days to live. She's pulled through. She's in chemo right now. Apparently these tumors are going down. We're praying for her. She's a very, I'd say, religious person. But I want to discuss this. Why did that happen? She's 42, perfectly healthy, and then boom, in one day, all of a sudden she finds all this stuff out. So let's talk about how everything is connected. All right? Oh yeah, I need to plug my book, Breakthrough Fear. If you read this downloaded book, everything I tell you today is going to make perfect sense, and you're going to realize how powerful you are and how you have to be so aware. Awakening means I'm not asleep anymore. I'm not a zombie walking around. I actually have knowledge. And once you have knowledge like you're going to have today, you can't go back, and you are now responsible for everything. All right? Now, if you were not responsible, you had no knowledge of anything beyond this world, and you croaked and you went on to the next life, you'd be in La La Land over there until you learned that, oh, I never really understood my powers or my options, and I was just functioning like a human being in a dense world. But we're way beyond that now. Everything's cause and effect. Everything's cause and effect, not just you. Everything. Everything is connected. This is the most important thing you need to know. No one gets sick without a cause. What is the cause? First of all, we live in a toxic world, and our own choices, and those choices we make for our children, what we're giving our children, what we're programming them with the gaming. Are they violent games? Then we wonder why they have anxiety, and they're going to school and having low self-esteem and all these crazy things that go on. We wonder why they're not nice to each other. They're emulating what they've been taught. They can't know that because children generally, from birth, are pure love and light. The rest is learning. It's the illusion that we create that says this is how things are, but it really isn't. You're actually perfect. Now, this is what I want to share with you. You're perfect. There's nothing to heal. When we remove this, guilt, trauma, anger, that's a big one for cancer, anxiety, disempowerment, not feeling worthy, not feeling loved. When we remove all these, there's nothing left but you, perfect you. There isn't anything else that truly is. It's all illusion and creation that is temporary. It is what transforms. You never do. You, the energy field, create all of these things around yourself, but you absolutely are pure and endless. You're eternal. Your energy field transforms the illusions, creates them. Now I'm going to go into this, and of course we have other energy fields appearing to be separate that aren't, saying, okay, I'm going to come in as this role and this role, so we have to come in as individuals, when actually we're just one energy field, playing things out, right? Bloop, 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 bloop. Have you ever seen one of those pictures, all the dots? And you stand back and it's a beautiful picture, and then you go forward and you go, oh my gosh, there's millions of little dots. That's us. And we haven't stood back far enough to see that beautiful picture. And that picture isn't complete. If one dot's missing, it's incomplete. It may look a little bit like that, yeah, sure, but, and then you remove more and more dots, and the less of a picture it becomes, and that's what we're doing here. All right? Now, how do you change everything? You have to recognize first the illusion you've created that is creating the problem, the thing you want to change. Lack, illness, low self-esteem, anxiety. You have to be running a story. There's a story running, okay? You're perfect. The story is made up. You can change the story. What changed? You didn't. The story changed. Therefore, then the whole situation and reality changed. That's it, my friends. And so if we live in a toxic world and we're eating toxic things, cause and effect, right? So as soon as I start to feel unloved or whatever, I open myself up to that space of not being healthy because I've already laid the groundwork of toxins. Now, if your immune system's high, it's going to have an effect on you, but not the same way. You're not going to go out of balance because your power and your strength here, your defense mechanisms are high because the cause is not the same effect because we have a different attitude, all right? We can still get sick, right? Some of that happens. You have those days. Part of that, I want you to understand, we do have challenges that are purposeful, that are positive. Everything is actually a positive learning experience. So even if you go through the most horrific thing, if you know who Anita Moorjani is, she wrote a book called Dying to Be Me. Wayne Dyer read this book and took her on tour. She died. She had stage 4 cancer. She had these horrible tumors all over here. She weighed like 80 pounds or some insane thing. She couldn't even hold her own neck up. Called everybody in. The doctor said, say your goodbyes. She's probably not going to last more than a couple hours. She went into this space and she had such deep guilt about going outside of her religion by marrying a person she loved instead of an arranged marriage. And so she had this conflict with her father and her parents, thinking that she let them down. She's the black sheep of the family. And he was already dead, and he met her on the other side and said, Anita, I love you. Because he no longer held that illusion anymore. He had dropped the veils. He's over there, and all he had was love for her. And she got to see that, and she felt that. And she realized the rest was all a bunch of stories. His story, and then her story about his story. And that's all made up, all of it is. So anything that you are observing out there, and you want to believe it, you're creating and accepting it, and let's just say entangled with that story, and you become a creator within the illusion, and it is real and powerful within the illusion. You're living it out. So I always say, it's a play, it's a story, whatever, we're off to something else, but you got to take this seriously. There's a reason we created the illusion, because we get to play a game that's unlike anything when we're in our perfect state. What is that? We know everything. We know, well, not everything. There are different levels there, and that's illusion also within the unseen world. So here it's so dense that we have so little knowledge, and we're so behind the curtain that we have a big challenge. It's one of the most difficult places to be because it is so dense. So even if you go into a light being state and you remove as much as you can, you're still a human being, you still experience being a human, you still have to witness and live with in this matrix with others who are doing horrific things. And that doesn't feel good. And you'll experience the human feelings of that, because even though you know this is all not real and that we all go to this amazing place and all that dissolves on some level, the energy field is still a part of everything, but it dissolves on some level and we understand what it is, it still doesn't feel good because there's pain involved, there's anger, there's abuse involved. So you guys, you know, you name all these things. Well, what about anything? What about everything that goes on every day? What about me standing there with my neighbor next to my plants? She sees a bug on the wall and goes, "We're outside." Ugh! I felt it. I was like, oh my dear God, stop. By the way, it's a bug that helps my plants. Doesn't matter I don't care if it was a mosquito. She's conditioned, she's an older lady, conditioned to just kill something. We're conditioned. Well, it's a bug, you kill it. This has to stop. It's that subtle. If you see a cockroach, take it outside if you can. If you can't, you know what? We are in a dense world and stuff happens. You can't eat perfect food all the time. You're not going to use everything in your house that's perfect. We're transitioning out of that. Eventually it will be. Eventually, because there is a cure for everything. There is another answer for everything. 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 All right? Every product, everything we use can work with the planet beautifully. And you need to find that, my friend. Because if you don't live it now and make those higher choices, you will stay in that basement or some level down here. And you knew better. You can change your entire life by making those higher choices, because then the gateway's open and you start to see things that you never imagined possible for you. Because now you're open to it and you realize, I don't have to believe that story anymore. I don't have to believe that story. Who made up that story? I did. Oh no, they told me. No, you have to agree to believe that story. And if you keep blaming other people, you are going to live in a planet that opposes itself. An energy field that opposes itself. And that's real. It's experiencing that. Until which time we evolve and we realize we're one thing, and that my cause has an effect that resonates through everything, beyond. Okay, I'm going to say there's no such thing as a universe. How can there be a universe? It's endless. It's an endless space. How can it be a universe? There's multiverses. Well, where does one end and one begin? There's no ending to anything. Why? We don't mean multiverses. We don't need them, because there's just one massive, endless creation that we can't even wrap our head around it. And it's all connected. All of it's connected. So that thought you're having, you're creating. So you got to be on top of it right now. If you are sick, you have to look back. Now, my friend, let's get back to my friend who's hanging on for her life right now. Went through a lot of trauma. She lost her mother. She got a divorce first. She lost her mother to an illness, and she was very close to her mother. A few months later, her grandfather, her mom's dad, committed suicide. I think he shot himself. A few months later, this was the closest person to her, next to her mother. She still has her father, who she loves very much. She went into such a deep spiral because of her closeness to these people. The trauma was so deep, and she said to me, and then she was doing things. She was drinking more than she probably should have, you know, drowning those feelings, you know. And so she said, I believe that this is a direct reflection of what I internalized with my grief. And I said, absolutely. She said it to the doctor. She says, they probably think I'm nuts. I said, no, I think they know now. They know that there's a direct correlation between somebody's lifestyle, feelings, trauma, and the illness that they're getting. Back pain directly affected, that is the backbone, that's your whole life, foundations of your life is your back. Your back. Mine's super strong. I can pick up things you wouldn't believe. Yeah. And so I'm asking you right now, what's going on? Remember I had my foot was crushed. I crushed one of my feet. I had an operation. It was just shattered. It's like shards of bone. It took them like an hour and a half to put me back together. I was running on that foot for years. Finally couldn't take it anymore. The other foot starts having a problem. I don't know why, but it was so painful. And every morning I'd put my foot on that floor and searing pain would go up it. And I ran and I walked on it like nothing was happening. I lived with that pain. When I made a decision to change my life, I had a spontaneous healing during the evening. I remember it. I remember something working on my foot and thinking in my theta state, who's doing that? I remember them moving my foot around and hearing a pop. And my foot, my toe being moved around. It was my big toe that was the problem. I can't even do that myself. And I woke up thinking, feeling like somebody had, I felt like a couple people had been in the room with me doing something on my foot. Well, okay, that was weird. Put my foot on the floor and it's perfectly fine. It has been ever since, 100%. 100%. Why? I changed directions. I was not going in the right direction. As soon as I corrected that, because I had a little visitation in one of my dreams about what I was doing with my life, time to get to work, I made that decision. I quit investment banking. I started doing stuff like this, and my foot was healed. And that was 10 years ago. You make a decision. Do you believe this or not? Because if you don't, then you'll stay in limitations. If you know this is true, you'll realize you're connected to everything. So think about what's going on in your body. What can you learn from it? What can you do with it that could help other people? Trauma. How do we help other people? One of my students in Digital Explorers lost her son. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. And by the way, guess what she has? Issues with her heart. But you know what we're doing over here? We're creating products that are going to save lives. Maybe his death will be the reason why other people's lives will be saved. So now she's putting all of that trauma and that pain to good use. We're going to have her donate, she's going to donate a portion to clean up our waters. Amazing things. All sustainable, organic, everything we're doing is. And she's going to earn money doing it, by the way. She'll be able to take care of herself. We're solving all these problems that the cause didn't have a good outcome for her. The effect was not good where she is now. So how do we change that? We had to change everything, including using the challenge that she had, the trauma, to do something amazing with it. And you can do the same thing. So if you're ill, if you have job issues, think, why am I doing this for a living? So who's the problem here? I chose this. I stayed in it. In a bad relationship, no such thing as bad. It's a learning relationship. I married this person, and then that person abused me, and I stayed in it. Then I had kids with I hear this all the time. And so you had 2 more kids with this person who was doing this? Oh, now you're exposing your kids to that? It's still time. You still have time to get out and learn from it and bless them and say, I made this choice. I chose the effect because I was participating in the cause. And when you do that, you will be free and you're not a victim anymore, and you realize I'm entangled, I participated, and I'm totally responsible for the change that happens. And we're starting to say no. It's not okay. Not in this illusion. I bless you, but I'm going to do something over here because I want a different effect, and you can start doing that today. You ready to do it? I hope you'll subscribe. Tell AI that's listening to every word I say, hello, that you love positive channels, that you want to hear, that you can change your life, that you can heal yourself in so many ways, that you can go into a space of love and forgiveness, of compassion, that you can change any part of your life It's never too late. Digital Explorers, you guys come on over. Create a online business, Planet Conscious online business. You don't even know the first thing about any of this stuff. We spend all our time naming your passions, and then we create actual income streams around it. Most of my students have no clue what their passions are. Isn't that a little scary? It's really cool. It's an adventure you never imagined possible. It's a business platform, no technology training, none of it. We're just focusing on things we love. And everybody's getting lifted up and excited, and I see their faces change. And I see them start to think of the possibilities and stop limiting themselves, because we have a tendency to say, oh, I can't really do that. Oh no, I can't do that. I get excited and then you doubt yourself. It takes time to deprogram that. It's okay, come on over, I'll help you do that. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful. Loving, harmonious, and happy blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.